Hello again, Algebra 2 class. In this video set, we'll be looking at Chapter 9, Lesson 1 from your Algebra 2 textbook. This lesson looks at an introduction to sequences. Specifically, we have two main objectives. We want to first be able to find terms in a sequence, and then we also want to be able to go the other direction, and if we're given terms in a sequence, we're going to be able to write a rule for that sequence. In this first video, we'll be finding terms using what's called a recursive formula. Now, before we get into too many details, we do want some general vocab that will help us talk about things here. The first one is going to define what a sequence actually is. A sequence is just an ordered list of numbers, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's an example of a sequence. Sequences are made up of things called terms. A term is just a single number in a sequence. And then when we're talking about terms, we want some terminology to use there. Specifically, we'll be using things like a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 11. A sub 1 just means the first term. A sub 2 means the second term. A sub 50 means the 50th term. We also sometimes refer to a general a sub n. This just means the nth term in a sequence, and n could be any number. And one of the trickier ones here is this a sub n minus 1. Well, all n minus 1 means is just the term 1 before a sub n. So if you were looking at like a sub n as being a sub 6, then a sub n minus 1 would just be a sub 5, the term right before it. Now in this first video, we're going to look specifically at recursive formulas, which are just rules that in order to find the next term, we have to know one or more of the previous terms. So what does an example of that look like? Find the next three terms of the sequence where a sub 1 equals 2, so in other words, the first term is 2, and a sub n equals 2 times a sub n minus 1 plus 1. So the thing that makes this recursive is the fact that we have a sub n minus 1 here, which means that in order to find the nth term, we have to know the term right before it. So we can start off pretty easily by saying that, well, our first term is just 2. Right? A sub 1 is 2. That was given. We can then find a sub 2 using this formula, because we know that a sub 2 is just 2 times the term right before a sub 2, which is a sub 1, plus 1. Well, a sub 1 is 2, so this is 2 times 2 plus 1, or just 5. So a sub 2 is 5. We can then find a sub 3 and a sub 4 using a similar strategy. So to find a sub 3, we'll have to use the term right before it, which is a sub 2. And again, we can just plug the pieces in. 2 times 5 plus 1, because a sub 2 was 5. So that comes out to 11. And then we can do the same thing to find a sub 4. To find a sub 4, we have to use a sub 3. So we'll plug in that 11, and we will get 23. 2 times 11 is 22 plus 1. And now we can start writing out this sequence. It would go 2, 5, 11, 23, and so on.